Shalini ma'am.
Sir, I'm in, sir.
Okay. Okay. Afra.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We can start. Sir, Ramesh sir. Shall we start, sir? Ramesh sir. Ramesh sir. Ramesh sir.
Sorry, but there was some internet breakdown in between, so I got disconnected.
Okay.
Okay.
We can start, sir. We can start, sir.
Yeah, can start now.
Okay. Afra.
Yes, sir. A pleasant good evening to one and all who have gathered here. Libraries are sacred time machines where knowledge flows and magic is eternal. With these words of very Venice, I welcome you all for today's webinar on the topic Importance and Need of Libraries in Enhancing Digital Learning, E-Learning, Virtual Learning, and Lifelong Learning, presented by Dr. Ramesh C. Gaur. Before getting started, a gentle reminder, participants please mute your mic at the time of presentation. The session will be open for queries once the presentation is over. Now, I request Dr. Shalini Pakyam Kamala, Professor and Head, Department of SNH, Nehru Institute of Engineering and Technology, to deliver welcome address.
Distinguished speaker and renowned academicians and other participants, a very warm good evening to you all. We have been enriched in digital aspects nowadays through the knowledge fort of Nehru Institute of Engineering and Technology. This PKDAS knowledge fort, now it is taken in charge of Dr. Sendil Kumar, who has arranged a lot of webinars for the academicians' sake as well as for students and library sectors. So today's webinar also it is useful for all people through the role of library. So I'm happy to welcome you all for this national webinar on importance and need of libraries in enhancing digital learning, e-learning, virtual learning and lifelong learning. A webinar organized by PKDAS Knowledge Fort from Readers Club activity in association with National Digital Library of India. At this juncture, I'm happy to welcome our distinguished resource person, Professor Dr. Ramesh C. Gaur, Dean and Director, Library and Information, Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts, New Delhi, Ministry of Culture, Government of India. Having you here amidst us is a great thing for us, sir. Happy to welcome you and other principals and faculty members, especially from the library department people. All are usually you are giving your regular presence to us to conduct all the webinars successfully. So today also you have come. We are happy to welcome all the participants. And finally, student participants are also here. We are very happy to welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I request Dr. P.T. Vijay Kumar, Director, Department of Management Studies, Nehru Institute of Engineering and Technology, to deliver presidential address and introduce our resource person.
Most respected resource person of today's webinar, respected organizer, respected head of the departments, learned faculty colleagues, dearmost participants from various parts of our country, a very good evening to one and all. Today, our PK, those Knowledge Port, ND and NDLI, Nehru Institute of Engineering Technology, Coimbatore, is organizing a national webinar on importance and need of libraries in enhancing digital learning, e-learning, virtual learning, and lifelong learning. We should know the importance of library and need of library. In this modern world, we are focusing towards e-learning, virtual learning, and digital learning. But new education policy is based on learning outcomes, experiential learning, art integrated learning, sports integrated learning, and storytelling-based pedagogy is the new mantra. Libraries as learning resource centers and librarians as facilitators of learning have a very important and a new role. We have a perfect and correct resource person today with us. On behalf of Nehru Institute of Engineering Technology and Nehru Group of Institutions, we welcome you, sir. Once again, we welcome you, sir, for this program. Now, I am very much happy to introduce our resource person, Professor Dr. Ramesh C. Gaur is presently Dean and Director of Library and Information and Head Kalanidhi Division at Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts, New Delhi, Ministry of Culture, Government of India. During the period October 2011 and during January 2018, he was the University Librarian, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, India. His past assignments includes Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, CRRI, CSIR, RIS, New Delhi, Management Development Institute, and IMT Ghaziabad. Professor Gaur has visited 24 countries, a Fulbright scholar, Virginia Tech, USA, has been honored and received 14 awards in recognition to his exemplary work. Professor Gaur is the first Indian nominated as member International Advisory Committee, UNESCO, Memory of the World Program, MOW. He is also a member of Expert Consultation Committee for setting up of International Center of Documentary Heritage in South Korea. He is the member of many other important national and international professional bodies. Important affiliations includes member Governing Council, Infonet, member of Research Council for CSIR, National Institute of Science, Communication and Information Resources, New Delhi, member International Consultative Committee on Digital Duhong, China, NDLTD Board of Directors, member Governing Body, Sahit Sukhdev Singh College of Business Studies, University of Delhi, member of UGC Draft Regulations Committee of Blagarisham Regulation 2018, expert member IFLA Program Advisory Committee on Global Cultural Heritage, and various other committees of International Federations of Library Associations, member Data by Advisory Board USA. So today we have a eminent personality, eminent resource person with this. Sir, we are eagerly waiting to listen your words. Please welcome, sir.
Many thanks for your kind and very generous introduction. Is my voice clear?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Clear, sir.
Yeah. So thanks for inviting me for this important webinar. So I think Dr. Senthil was behind me since many days, and he wants me to speak. And like in the morning also, I have a webinar, so it is a quite hectic day after going to office and then coming back and having another webinar. So maybe a little tired, but I will try to do justice to this particular topic. So let me share my presentation, then I will start my talk. Can you confirm, Senthil, can you see my?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
So now the issue is that I will not able to see the platform. So if any case, if there is any audio problem or any slide changing problem, please interrupt me and let me know, because I am not able to see all of you till the presentation slides are on.
Sure, sir.
Okay. So thank you, Dr. Mani Saranan, Dr. P. Krishna Kumar, and surely Dr. Senthil. This topic which I am going to talk, importance and need of libraries in enhancing digital learning, e-learning, virtual learning, and lifelong learning. Basically, in this presentation, this is a kind of overview that I will start with. This is a new education policy, not the police, so please ignore the typo errors. And then I will talk various kind of role of libraries as a learning resource center, and librarians as a facilitator of learning, education 4.0, and then learning, self-learning, mutual learning, group learning, lifelong learning, digital learning, e-learning, deep learning, and various kind of other related topics, teaching and learning, reading and learning, internet and learning, and of course, role of librarian as a teacher librarian. So this is a kind of an overview of this particular talk. We are in 21st century, and if you see the last pandemic, this pandemic last 6-8 months have given us a lot of issues and challenges, and as our Prime Minister very rightly said, that we should convert these challenges into opportunities. So in one way, like when we talk about online education or digital learning, online teaching and learning, this is a new experiment India have seen in the last 6 to 8 months. So basically, the kind of situation we are in right now has also given us some kind of food for thought. That in such a situation, how we should prepare ourselves, like these all Zoom, Google Meet, or WebEx, and all other platforms are not new to me. I have been using these platforms from last 10 years, starting from I start using basically in 2004 this Hotmail Messenger, and for various kind of online meeting, and then Skype and various kind of other tools, because I'm a member of various international committees and very frequently I need to attend those meetings. So I think one way this pandemic has given us an opportunity to explore new areas of learning, new areas of teaching, and that way I consider that it sometimes like some bad thing also give you some good things. So in this kind of environment, I'm sure thousands of people will be connected with this talk at YouTube and on Facebook and on Google Meet, which is impossible in a regular environment and regular kind of situation. So let's always explore ourselves. Let's always explore the situation. Let's also explore the environment and try to learn something new. Try to do something new. And this my talk, I think I have not seen any such talk so far in this, at least in the last 6 months. It may be the first talk I'm delivering on this topic. I remember like when in 2012, I start talking about issues concerning plagiarism. In JNU, when I start exploring the library's domain expertise as a specialization in plagiarism reference management. That was the beginning, and now I'm so happy to see that almost every university, every college, every librarian is organizing or engaging in various kind of talks on reference management tools, on literary publishing, on research ethics, on plagiarism, on falsification, on fabrication. So I consider myself as a pioneer in that area, because after I was nominated to this UGC Committee on Plagiarism Regulation, and I ensured that the librarian should get a due place. Library should get a due place in this issue of research ethics, research publication ethics. And now this 2-credit course on research and publication ethics has given a new dimension, new role for libraries and librarians. So on the similar lines, I consider this my talk as another pioneering step. I am going to propose something very, very new, which libraries have not discussed so far. I'm going to talk something different, which we have not talked much on these lines. So let me hope that this talk is also going to be a kind of pioneer efforts from my direction, and librarians will respond, and libraries will respond to it. So on this positive note, let me start this today's talk. Let's begin with the New Education Policy 2020. Most of you might have gone through it. Most of you might have seen the basic provisions in New Education Policy. If you go through the entire New Education Policy, you will not find a word called library in the entire education policy. There is a word digital library, but you will not find a single occurrence of library in the New Education Policy. Means there is no reference of library in the New Education Policy. Why this is a kind of do you think those policymakers and those people who have formulated this policy are not aware of the importance of libraries? I think there is a change scenario, there are change mindset, but other way, if you see, learning has occurred at so many places, starting from initial school education to college education and higher education. Everywhere there is a reference of learning. And I think as a librarian, we should consider ourselves fortunate that now we are entering in a new area, new domain. We are learning, and libraries are very closely connected with each other. So let me just talk about the few important points which I feel are directly related to libraries in this new education policy. So the first point in this new education policy is foundation literacy and numeracy for all children. This is a school education. So this is the aim of this education policy, to have education, universal access to all. So in that, foundation literacy and numeracy has been given a very important place. And another important thing is, in this direction, digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing, Diksha. This is a program proposed at school level. So this is directly a kind of repository proposed in this direction. And third thing is a national book promotion policy. So if you see, these three things are proposed at school level to enhance quality of education and of course learning. So these are the three opportunities which are directly related to learning and education. So here we need to come out, we need to prepare our school libraries in such a way that they can play a crucial role in this new education policy in these three areas. Now, another important area which is very well defined, very well talked about this in this policy is experiential learning. What is this experiential learning? Basically, it talks about learning by doing, hands-on learning, art integrated learning, sports integrated learning. So there is a lot of focus on kind of pedagogy, which is a very important in this area of learning. So here it is another opportunity for all of us, all the libraries, to come and put ourselves in this area where this is a scope for experiential learning. Story-based pedagogy is already some initiatives are there in this country, but not a well planned, or we don't have any storyteller. So let's librarian take this opportunity, and the school librarian particularly, they should learn art of storytelling. So they should become a storyteller. And this is another opportunity I see in this particular new education policy, which directly related to the libraries. Of course, there is a mention of creation of digital library at all levels. And when they talk about the learning, there is a clear-cut focus of this education policy. Learning should be holistic, integrated, enjoyable, and engaging. That's a message given in this policy, that it is not just completing the course. It is not just forcing students to learn something. I think they should enjoy learning. They should engage themselves in the learning. So this is another important thing which the library can see their role. And of course, optimal learning environment. Optimal learning environment cannot be created without help of the library. So you cannot think of any learning environment in any university, in any college, in any school, in any research institution without the library. So here, this is the direct engagement of libraries in creating optimal learning environment. Adult education and lifelong learning. This is there's a separate chapter on adult education and lifelong learning. See, if you see, India has there was about 12% literacy rate prior to our independence, and now it is about 72% literacy in the country, and many states are less than that. So average is 72%. So how to make it 100% literacy? See, in the beginning, I have always been supporter of the idea that libraries play a very important role in literacy, in this adult education and lifelong learning. See, all individuals who are not linked with a school, college, or universities, where they have to go for learning, where they will go for making themselves literate. Libraries are the only place for them. So in this, when we talk about adult education and lifelong learning, a teacher can make a person literate. But when we talk about sustainable literacy, here comes the role of the libraries. Because until that person reads regularly, until this person practice regularly that literacy, he or she cannot remain literate forever. After some time, he might forget it. So to make sustainable efforts in adult education and lifelong learning, this is very, very important. Another important focus of this new education policy is digital education. See, a teacher has to take a class. So when teacher wants to take a class, online class, or maybe blended learning class, board class, he or she need a literature to prepare for the class. And after taking class, the students need supplementary reading. Like classroom ends, the library all starts. So like its teacher may be speaking for 1 hour, 2 hours. Then after that, the entire things comes to the library. It may be suggested reading, reference reading. So here libraries have to prepare to supplement that, like in this pandemic situation. You have seen there is a problem of getting literature. Talk about rural India. I'm concerned about rural India, not about Delhi and Bombay or Kolkata, because here in Delhi, Bombay, Kolkata, schools can afford to have teachers can learn about it. What about those lakhs of people studying, lakhs of children studying in our rural areas? Do they have online education? Do they have gadget? Do they have that kind of facilities for digital education? Still, we need to reach out with the internet fiber connectivity in those rural areas. Many of the I think a few thousand places have been connected with fiber connectivity. So in this digital education, we need to promote digital literacy. We need to enhance the infrastructure. And the most important component of this entire digital education is the library. Without libraries, without electronic resources, without databases, without open access resources, no digital education is ever possible. This teaching is just a few hours job, but library's job is round the clock. So I think let me clear you that this new education policy has given us a lot of food of thoughts. It has given a lot of challenges to us. Now it is you, the librarians. You have to analyze it. You have to understand it, and then accordingly you have to prepare to play this new role. And how you are going to play this new role. Before that, you need to understand this new development in the technology front. So after new education policy, I would like to bring to your attention to another important thing that is called the Internet of Things. Like technology is changing. We started from internet in 90s, and then we have been talking about Web 1.0, Web 2.0, Web 3.0, and now we are talking about the Web 4.0. And in this Internet of Things, there is a multi-dimensional changes. Now it is more about connecting, more about interaction. So here, Internet has become more interactive in Internet of Things. Video is going to play major role. Audio video is going to play. We have not heard of video journals in the past, but now in the future we are going to see more video journals. YouTube is playing a very, very important role in this entire domain of this particular pandemic situation. So there are a number of things which are going to change in this Internet of Things in form of devices, in form of media of communication, in terms of data, and data, big data is going to play a very important role. Artificial intelligence are going to play a very important role. Deep learning is going to play a very important role in this particular Internet of Things. And definitely it will be a more machine learning than the human intervention or human interaction. And this Internet of Things, Industry 4.0, and now Education 4.0. So what is this Education 4.0? This education 4.0 is known as the future of the education, where man and machine align to enable new possibilities, harness the potential of digital technologies, personalize data open source contents, and the new humanity of this globally connected technology fueled world. Establishes a blueprint for the future of learning, lifelong learning from childhood to schooling to continuous learning in the workplace to learning to play a better role in the society. Understand this last point. This education 4.0 or Internet of Things is all about lifelong learning. Like after completing your course or degree or PhD, there is no end to learning. Learning will remain for lifelong. It may be in your office workplace. It may be to play the role in the society. Like now, we have been learning new ways to protect from this corona. So this education 4.0 is going to be very, very innovative, and I think this is the right time. I'm so glad our visionary Prime Minister has thought of bringing out this new education policy on a very, very appropriate and very right time. And I think there is not a lot of focus on this. And in this particular education 4.0, there are certain important things which libraries have to address. See, basically, learners as a content producer and sharer. The person who is a learner is also creator of the information. There is a learner who is engaged in making connections with the rest of the community, and there is a lot of focus on open access of information. And the teacher is also a user of the information and also a creator of the information. And the learner is also going to be a teacher. So this entire education 4.0 is going to make us in a kind of scenario which is supporting or which is demanding anywhere, anytime access. So your libraries need to prepare for that anywhere, anytime electronic access to your resources. You need to think of personalized information to your user. You cannot just think of that I have acquired a database, I have acquired a e-journal, I have acquired a books, I have acquired this. Now my job is over. My dear friend, this is your misunderstanding about the current situation. You have to think of personalized information. You have to think of flexible delivery of information. Now, users do not want your help just in downloading an article. They need a lot of value addition to that. And you have to act as a peers and mentors for the users. You have to really give them a location. You have to provide them complete details, why, where, not, what, how. Because there are so many questions they are going to ask, and your resources, your learning resources should have certain kind of practical applications. And you have to really think of a kind of evaluation of information. You have to really do the packaging of information. So according to the need of educator, according to the need of teachers, according to the need of researcher, students, and other users, you have to really create a new environment. And in this new environment, e-learning tools facilitate opportunity for remote self-paced learning. So e-learning is going to be the key. Flipped classroom, where the theoretical part is learned outside the classroom, involve personalized learning. This personalized learning is going to play very importantly. This blended learning, flipped classroom and bring your own device culture is going to play a very important role. When in a country of 1.2 billion people, if we have 2 billion mobile phones, it means like many people are having multiple mobiles. And now it is reaching to the even to unreached. And project-based learning and working. Students to obtain real-world skills that are representative to their jobs. courseware platform which assesses students' capability at each step, measures their competencies, students' ownership. Mentoring will become fundamental to student success. Now the teacher role is going to be a mentor rather than a strict teacher. So mentoring has become key in this new education environment. So now you as a librarian are going to see this kind of change in the environment. Now how are you prepared for that? Are you willing to become a partner in teaching and learning? If you are not, then you are not required. You will become just a clerk. If you are not able to update yourself, adapt the things, adopt the things, you are nowhere required. So this is a threat to you. This is a clear-cut threat to your survival, threat to your profession, threat to your positions. So now it is up to you. You really want to convert libraries as a learning resource centers, or you just want to have traditional libraries? So in this new role as a learning resource center, libraries has to revise, modify, and also update themselves in the new ways of identification of print and non-print learning resources. We are going to be in a hybrid world, but more and more electronic resources will be added in the near future. So how you identify relevant digital learning resources? And not just identification, you have to really have a thoughtful and very planned way of acquisition of learning resources. You have to put a lot of thinking in it. It is not just some faculty is asking, buy this book and you are buying that book. You have to use your own vision. You have to learn about the subject area of your institution, your university, your college. You have also think of having more and more open educational resources connected with your users. You have to also think of connecting to the open course bears. You have to also talk about connecting your users with open access resources. So in this entire open world, you as a stakeholder, you are a promoter, you are a facilitator, you are a creator. You have multiple roles in this open education business. And this indexing, abstracting are going to be key. See, in this information overload, indexing is going to play a crucial role. That in this such a vast internet, such a vast worldwide web, or a large number of journals and millions of articles, how to search the most relevant and most needed information to your user. So that indexing is going to play a key role. You need to evaluate the resources. So you have to summarize. You have to do packaging, and abstracting is also going to play a very important role in your new role as libraries as a learning resource center. Location is very important. You have to connect your user to a particular resource. So that location is very important. And searching new searching strategies. You have to really make them understand that searching is not simply go to Google and search it. Google is not everything. Google is misguiding you many times. It is giving you irrelevant information. So in that case, selection of searching and selection is very, very important. And you have to find out new ways of, you always need to explore. You always need to invent. You always need to work on this area. And most importantly, you have to learn how to evaluate information resources and how to guide your, like particularly those young scholars, young researchers, young students. We call them screenagers, or those are millennials. They have not seen such a huge information earlier, and now suddenly they have been exposed to that kind of information. It is a challenge for them. So how to really cope up with this? So libraries has to prepare themselves as a resource center, as a learning resource center, and they have to become partners in teaching and learning, in research, in adult education, in lifelong learning. in school education, everywhere you have to become partners. You have to become an integral part of learning. Learning maybe for teaching, for research, for lifelong, for literacy, for any kind of purpose. You have to become partner in that. And as a professional, you have to become facilitators of learning as well as a teacher. See, you cannot make them understand without being a good teacher. Right? You have to really redefine your role more as a teacher than just an administrator. Yes, there are certain administration and managerial qualities and qualifications, but when you talk about librarian as a teacher or librarian as a facilitator of learning, you have different role. You have been doing organizing user orientation and user education program, but that now has changed. It is not just that my library is having these many databases, these many resources. I have subscribed this. This is the books are lying here. Journals are like. This is not the user orientation and user education nowadays. You have to really plan a systematic user education for your new student, for your new user. You have to really talk about virtual tools. You have to think of virtual referencing and various kind of other things. You have to provide access to information resources through efficient and well-guided systems by organizing, retrieving, and circulating resources. And these things should be matching with the current needs of technology. Like mobile has become crucial. So mobile technology is also going to play a very important role. You have to increase more and more virtual referencing, information literacy, media literacy, e-research literacy. How to deal with fake information, because that fake information can guide you to the wrong way of learning. So that is another important thing for you to organize various kind of literacy programs. After class is over, teacher's job is over. So now the student depend upon you to supplement the teaching by library learning resources, to make them more understandable, to clarify doubts, to also like if you like I'm delivering a talk, and after that if you don't practice or if you don't read something additional information, you might forget it. So after teaching for learning, you need to go to the libraries, and you have to, as a librarian, you have to make certain kind of packaged information. Library is the best place for mutual learning, where people comes and interact, two individuals talk to each other, and same group learning. Like this, library is the central place, and students from all streams comes. So it is also a very good opportunity for group learning, and it also help in building an information literacy research community. Libraries help in building information literate research community. Talk about the public libraries or special libraries, research libraries, they always play a very important role. Librarians have to provide additional assistance to students with particular learning needs or abilities. But for example, there are students with the disabilities. So how you are going to provide them various avenues for learning, various kind of learning tools, learning resources. So library role is going to be very crucial. And my dear friend, this is a golden time. This is an opportunity for all of us to come forward and grab this opportunity and prove that yes, I'm the facilitator of learning. And let's talk about learning sciences. Learning sciences is the one area which has not been explored much. So let's become an expert on learning sciences. Yes, you are an expert on library sciences. Now think of becoming an expert on learning sciences. Add learning sciences to information sciences and library sciences. So I see a very clear-cut role for you. Now, let me just define you, give you an explanation on different kind of learning, and I will give you an example that how in each and every learning sphere, you have a role to play, and how you can connect yourself. And start with understanding what is learning. So Merriam Dictionary defines learning as the activity or process of gaining knowledge or skill by studying, practicing, being taught, or experiencing something. The activity of someone who learns knowledge or skill gained from learning. So libraries are the best place to gain knowledge by reading. So and whenever some doubts are there, teacher is not always available. Now we should not say that doubts are cleared from books and journals only. Our internet is so big. Like day before yesterday, we got a new mobile phone, and we don't know how to shut down. And immediately a video was seen on the YouTube, and information was given that yes, this is the way you have to change the setting. So now internet has also supplementing libraries. There are, I never say that internet is substitute to the library, but it is complementing and supplementing libraries. So and what is the learning process? See, basically, learning process is kind of experience by reading certain things, by learning something new, or by building on the prior knowledge. You know something about certain topics. Now you want to extend that knowledge. You want to enhance the knowledge. You want to enrich your knowledge. Now how to enrich that knowledge? That can be done through various kind of, like either some teacher is explaining it to you, or you are reading yourself. Give you an example. I did computer science in 1989, and what I was taught in my course was basic, photon, COBOL, DS, plus, Fox Pro. Now, when I started my job, half of these languages were already out from the business, and slowly I realized that none of these languages are useful for me. So I know some basic understanding of computer science, but I develop myself in the new areas of learning, like maybe internet, it may be desktop publishing, it may be various areas of computer science. I explored myself, so I build on my prior knowledge. So now another is the when you live in a complex social environment, your surroundings are also giving you a lot of learning. You are in your family, from your society, from your office, from your colleagues, from your friends, even from your enemies. You learn so many things. So that social environment also make you knowledgeable and make you learning. And that social environment is also connected with public library system. Another important way is learn, like how to motivate that learning. Like many times it is not always self-motivation. Sometimes you need to start the learning. You need to, like, learning process is not automatic. A young child who is going to school, until unless you ask to learn the alphabets, he will not learn it, because he does not understand need of alphabets. He does not understand need of a learning language, because without language he is like a boy of 5 years is speaking mother tongue, but he does not know how to write that particular mother tongue, because he is not familiar with those alphabets. So the learning is something which is initiated by with some purpose and required motivation, and also certain kind of engagement with certain environment. And there are various ways of learning. There are various learning style, verbal, through visuals, through audio, through physical kinesthetic, through various kind of logical, mathematical, social, solitary combination, and combination of many styles. So there is a multiple ways of learning, and it depends upon the situation, requirement, purpose, that how you are going to learn from various things. You can just learn by observing also, without doing anything. Just you are observing something, and you learn it by listening. Like I'm speaking, I'm delivering this talk, and many of you are listening it, and many things you are learning just by listening it. So there is a various act and styles of learning, and these styles, there is a very different ways of learning, and the most important is the self learning. There is no end to self learning. Like Einstein said, I never teach my pupils, I only provide the condition in which they can learn. So basically, when we talk about self-learning, is defined as a process by which individuals take the initiative without the assistance of others in diagnosing their learning needs, formulating learning goals, identifying human and material resources for learning, and evaluating learning outcomes. So self-learning is something like self-motivate. If there is a need, like nobody taught a child how to stand up, how to move, how to feed. He immediately knows that my mother is going to feed me. So this self-learning is a kind of like individual initiative. And if you want to do self-learning, professional learning or education learning or research learning, there is no place better than libraries, where you have plenty of information. There is no place better than internet resources. There is no place better than e-resources, where these are certain things are self-explanatory. So in self-learning domain, libraries have very, very important role. Mutual learning, I mentioned earlier that mutual learning involves two or more than one or two persons, and libraries can well enhance mutual learning. I give you an example, then you will understand how libraries can enhance the mutual learning. When I was working in Jawaharlal Nehru University, I, with the help of students, constituted a JNU Mutual Learning Forum. What was that? So this was a group of teachers and students, and Vice Chancellor was the chair, and I was the co-chair, vice chair for that particular mutual forum. So under that particular mutual forum, every Saturday, students used to organize a talk, and talk was given by a student, chaired by a student, and attended by the students, and sometimes faculty and vice chancellor also attended. So library was providing all the facilities, and under that particular JNU Mutual Forum, students with the help of library organized seminar, conferences. There was a seminar on Harry Potter, and students from I think many universities participated and presented paper on Harry Potter. And the students were sciences, the student from social sciences, the student from languages, humanities, and arts. Everybody put their context of Harry Potter. So that was the way you can enhance mutual learning in the libraries. Library can play a very important role in enhancing mutual learning among the students, among the teachers. Like, give you another idea. In one of my office, I introduced a monthly meeting on every Thursday of a month. What we used to do, we used to, I used to invite all the teachers and faculty members over a cup of tea, and in a class, in a room, there was a books kept, which books received on approval basis. So faculty members were glancing those books, and they were also discussing various issues. So that Thursday tea club kind of thing I introduced, and that, because teachers from multiple disciplines were meeting, they were discussing certain personal issue, but many professional issues. So that way, and then I started various kind of program like book talk, book discussions. Still I'm doing in IGNCA. And so these interactive activities. Like I used to meet all visually impaired students in a regular basis. So those kind of opportunity of putting together a homogeneous group or a heterogeneous group, and they are interacting with each other, and they are sharing common concern, challenges, and they are learning from each other. So that's the mutual learning, and I encourage you. I request all the librarians to take up it further. Group learning, that is very important nowadays. Now, if you go abroad, all universities are having group discussion room, because like many universities, they are providing even presentation room, audio video room, even digitization room, and in seminar room. And I used to provide in JNU the room for the students if they want to discuss in a group. So this group learning is a collection of persons who are emotionally, intellectually, and aesthetically engaged in solving problem, creating products, and making meaning. An assessment of which each person learned autonomously and follow the ways of learning of others. So in group learning, there is a particular problem, we are discussing it, each one is learning from others. So that's another way libraries, like even I have seen in the school, there is a discussion room in one of the school I've been to. So libraries are no more silent zones. So it enhances group learning, and you have a very important role. See, that is the way, because here students from different discipline, from same discipline, can come and can interact and work on that. Now let's come to the lifelong learning. So public libraries are the most important place for lifelong learning. And what is that? It is a form of self-initiated education that is focused on personal development. While there is no standardized definition of lifelong learning, it has generally been taken to refer to the learning that occurs outside of a formal educational institute, such as a school, university. So you are not a student, you are not a teacher, you are not any kind of registered student. So, but you are learning through books, through internet, through various kind of other formal or informal learning opportunities. So this may be adult education, this may be professional upgradation. Like when I was, see, this is the first time I'm talking on this topic. So last 3 days, I was searching on internet so many things, or many of the contents. These contents are not mine created contents. I have borrowed these contents from internet resources to speak on this topic. So I was learning from internet, what are these all kind of learning. So in this way, to deliver this talk, I have to prepare for this topic, and I also learn many things. So like when I started my discussion on plagiarism, research ethics, and all those issues, in 2012 I was the beginner, and now I'm the expert on that area. So how I develop expertise? Through continuous learning, and that continuous learning is also known as lifelong learning. So libraries are most important place for literacy, digital literacy, professional learning, infotainment, and lifelong learning. So this is the most wonderful opportunity you, a librarian, as a facilitator of learning, and also a kind of, and this is your expertise, this is your domain. Reading and learning is your domain. You have been libraries and have been doing since ages, because people are coming in libraries and reading books and materials, and they are learning from that. So library, there are so many types of learning resources in all forms, and this reading is defined as a cognitive process that involves decoding symbols to arrive the meaning. Reading is an active process of constructing meaning of words. So when you read something, you, in your language, you got certain context. You make some new knowledge. You get some new idea. You also, like, reading is not always to get new idea. Reading is to get fun, to entertainment, to enjoy, to answer your queries, to know new thing about something. So reading is basically directly connected to your brain. It is a thinking process. So when you read something, it is not necessary that whatever you read, everything you remember, but you learn a lot. And there are certain learning which remain forever. There are certain learning which remain for a particular time being, then you forgot about it. And there are certain learning you may not recall it until unless you refer. That's why when you talk about the law student, a lawyer, when he or she is fighting a case, he has to refer a lot of law rules and legislation in the books and documents. You have to refer various kinds of so, when we talk about various kinds of process and so according to research, reading is a process that negotiates the meaning between the text and reader. So in this context, sometimes basically learning, reading and writing, this is quite interrelated. You learn by reading as well as writing also. And in my experience say, when you read, you get some good learning. But when you read and write, then you get more learning. So both reading and writing, if you see that when you were in schools, you were a child, you were asked to repeat, you were asked to write, think something frequently, again and again by the teacher, write 10 times. So why you to write 10 times? Because by writing again and again, you are memorizing, you are learning. So reading, writing and learning are quite connected with each other. Now let's talk about teaching and learning. See, we know that this is a very important area, and entire education system is based on teaching and learning. So basically, teaching is learning is a process that includes many variables. These variables interact as a learners, work toward their goals, and incorporate new knowledge. In this, teacher basically teach the students on a particular topic, on a particular concept, and motivate them to learn something new, and also help them in understanding the hidden treasure of the knowledge, because there are so many things in the world which we don't know. So this teaching help us in becoming a novice, the professional expert, and also a expert learner. So this teaching is through classroom, this teaching through various other modes. Like now online education is becoming very popular. So in this teaching and learning process, there's a teaching learning cycle where like a teacher plans something that I want to teach the student this particular topic, and then after teaching, it goes to the student, and the student analyze and get some ideas out of that, and then they adapt it into it. And they also sometimes like they are making some project, some process, they are also appearing in examination. So this entire life cycle, there is a plan involved, there is a teaching involved, and there is an analysis and learning from those teachings, and also adapting certain things from the teaching. Everything somebody may not be adapting, but there are certain things being adapted. So, and now then comes the blended learning. So we know traditional learning, traditional classroom learning, where teacher was teaching on the blackboard, and students, we have seen that particular time. Now the younger generation see the online learning mode where a PowerPoint presentation is being used. And also now with this online Zoom or other media, we have been teaching. So when this online education is merged with the classroom, it becomes blended learning. So blended learning combines classroom learning with online learning, in which student can in part control the time, place and place of peace and place of the learning. So I advocate teacher design blended learning model in which teachers determine the combination that's right for them and their students. See, why I am supporting this blended learning? Because now everybody has been fed up with this online teaching, online learning, because everything cannot be one way or like just one process is not good for health, because there is a lot of advantages of online learning, but there are certain disadvantages of online learning. There are some advantages of classroom learning, but there are disadvantages of that also. So let's combine together and have blended learning. But in this entire teaching, learning and blended learning, libraries have very important role, and we have to complement or supplement that particularly. Now, this is the another area which has emerged in last few years. Like first time MIT started this e-learning course, and now every country, including India has this Swayam or EPG Pathshala or number of e-learning, NPTEL and all those things. So e-learning, you all know that basically by using electronic technology, educational curriculum is some course syllabus is made, and online this is online education, online examination, degrees delivered online, everything is online. So there is nothing offline, everything is online in e-learning mode. And even e-learning has certain advantages and certain disadvantages. If you compare e-learning with traditional learning, so traditional learning takes place in classes, and e-learning takes place on computer. So basically, traditional learning is mostly face-to-face classroom setting, where trainer is training. But e-learning is that there is no teacher. Computer is a teacher. Teacher has done the work, but he is not available, always not available on that to guide you. So in this context, like absolutely, there is a lot of focus on e-learning, but every subject cannot be taught through e-learning. Every subject is not possible to taught through e-learning, and there's a certain disadvantage. In this context, library has to play a very important role as a promoter, as a disseminator of e-learning contents. Like many times students are not aware of that. So librarian as a facilitator should disseminate the information about various e-learning courses and various e-learning modules for the students. Now the most relevant in current context is the digital learning. And digital learning is not possible without, definitely after online class, you need digital resources. So you need databases, you need various kind of technologies. So there are certain important features of this digital learning. So this digital learning is either through internet or digital library. So it has digital library has various objectives. It is used for informal learning, it is used for formal learning, it is used for professional learning. Like it is used for lifelong learning also. Some award of degree, some award of diplomas, and then just like for some regular updates. So in that context, there are certain things. Like most important thing in this digital learning is anytime, anywhere access to anyone, any content, including multimedia. So that's a technology, digital contents, and digital instruction. These are the key for this digital learning. And nowadays, there's a lot of focus on making this more interactive using artificial intelligence, semantic web, and virtual reality and augmentation reality. So these new technologies are making education, digital learning more interesting. Like take a simple example, I can give you Siri. Now in your household, you are using a television, like any kind of Netflix or Amazon, this Prime and all those things. So when you ask Siri, can you play a movie called Three Idiots? Immediately Siri will search and identified a Three Idiots and will play for you. So in this is the new digital environment, new digital this artificial intelligence and new natural interface is making it more and more interactive and more user friendly also. Now Siri has come in Hindi language also. We see that it will come in more Indian languages. So this new innovations in various areas are making it digital learning more and more interesting. So in that direction, digital learning innovations you require to play a very important. First thing, you need to create good digital resources, good e-resources. And then also you need to have good internet connectivity or intranet connectivity, Wi-Fi. You also need to have anywhere, anytime access, remote access. You need to have discovery services. You also need to create a culture. Like I remember when I joined in JNU in 2011, not a single ebook was available in the JNU library. Now there are so many ebooks are available in when I left in 2018. Lots of ebooks were available and students were very happy and they were very familiar. So you have to create a digital culture, and most importantly, this entire digital learning also need to have learning, teaching, and assessment. And ICT infrastructure for entire university is important. Connectivity in the hostels, in the classrooms, everywhere you need to connect the libraries and other resources to really have digital learning innovations. Now, new education policy is very well defining this experiential learning as one of the keys. So what is this experiential learning? This is simply learning by doing. So in this experiential learning, you have to start something. You want to do something, let's try it out. Instead of just theoretically learning something, let's try it out. And when you are trying it out, you may have different experiences, different observations. So analyze those experiences from the multiple perspective. Like you did something. Now there may be different experience with different individuals. So let's analyze those experiences and then learn from those experiences that how you got the knowledge, and you try to compare those experiences with the existing knowledge and understanding from the reading material, from the internet, or from the other sources. So now, after gaining the experience, you need to verify and you need to connect those ideas, and you need to link those existing knowledge and understanding with those your experiences. And after connecting those ideas, have active experimentation. Formulate a hypothesis, plan action, and test it. Like first you got an experience, some idea to do something, and then you have verified those ideas with the existing knowledge. So then you are sure that this is going to happen like this. So then you do the experimentation, and then you get some, after the experimentation, you get the real lifetime experiences, and that hypothesis can be verified. So in this entire process of experiential learning, learning by doing, it is something, a new way of learning. I don't know how much Indian academicians, Indian students are prepared for that, but this is going to be. Even I'm also trying to learn more about that. I don't know I'm exactly defining this to you or not. There may be some better definition or better explanation of experiential learning, because I'm also a learner. I'm also trying it out. Like when I was speaking on this topic, I was also trying to this is experiential learning. I try to speak on this topic, and then I'm trying to get certain kind of feedback, and I will get some comments and discussions from all the participants, and will able to know that how much I am able to explain this particular topic, experiential learning. And there is a cycle in this experiential learning. Explore, question relevance, have experience, have hands-on engagement, and connect with the prior knowledge, and create a new idea, and then share that idea, integrate with the different observations, and now that idea will be permanently cemented into your brain. So in this entire cycle process, it is a new learning experiences, and hope that this may help internet and learning. Definitely, internet is fundamental to achieving this vision of the future. It can improve the quality of education in many ways. It opens doorways to a wealth of information, knowledge and educational resources, increasing opportunity for learning it and beyond the classroom. The internet has become a unique platform for learning. Its 24/7 availability and broad range of information offers allow for the creation of brand new learning methods, not only acquiring domain specific and general knowledge, but also for developing new knowledge skills. So that is the threat to us. But you should take this an opportunity. I never consider internet as a threat, because I consider internet as a complement, supplement to the libraries. It is very well complementing libraries. There are a number of things which internet can provide, libraries cannot provide. There are a number of things libraries can provide, internet cannot provide. So let's understand what are the advantages and disadvantages of internet. Most importantly, we need to educate the user about the nonsenses of internet. Right? Internet has so much information, but many people are not aware of what are the problem with the internet. So as a librarian, you are the domain expert. You should educate the people, like Google and other standard search engines. Index just 15 to 20% web content. Even 80 to 85% web content are not indexed by Google. Google never give you the most authenticated information. Google never tell you that this is the authenticated information, this is a fake information, or there is a disinformation or misinformation. Like I was searching for top open access journal, and result was best open access journal, Omics International, which is a pedigree publisher. Point number 2, Google or any standard search engines does not certify the authenticity of the information. So how to verify the information is authenticated? Or third thing, while searching on Google or any standard search engines, you may not get most relevant result higher up in the order. When you are searching on Google, your first result may not be the most relevant or most appropriate result for you. So how to deal with this information overload? Many people have minds that now everything is available on the internet. Let me clarify. Here you have to convince the people, you have to educate the people. Internet is not library, or not even a digital library. Internet many things, but it is not a substitute for library and libraries. So you need to make them understand about this nonsense of the web. Web is divided into 3 important components: surface web, which we search through Google; deep web, and dark web. This deep web contains very valuable academic information and government data. And dark web is having some hackers information, encrypted sites, and illegal information, porn, etc. So when we are talking about most relevant information learning experiences, we need to educate the students and teachers and the researcher that this deep web is very important. But how to search that deep web? Many of them are not aware of that. So make them aware. Teach them that 95% of the deep web is free, and it is up to you how to make use of that. And many of the people don't know how to search this deep web, and this is something librarians expertise. Librarians can teach them that how to search deep web. Like there are various kind of search engines to search deep web. Meta search engines like Academic Index, general search engines and databases like Oyster, academic search engines and databases like Google Scholar, scientific search engines and databases like GoPubMed, collaborative information and databases like Delicious, open access search engines like Core. So, like, here comes your role to educate and make them understand about this various kind of search engines. Now, deep learning is something a very new and innovative ways of machine learning and making machine-driven searching or strategies or learning. A lot of work has to be done in this area, but some work has already been done. So librarians need to prepare themselves to make use of such new technologies. Now, in the last part of my presentation, I'm talking about the people who are with the learning disabilities. So library as a social organization, research institute, academic institute, everywhere there is a people with learning disabilities. So means they have a disorder in one or more of the basic psychological processes, and there are different kind of diseases, dyslexia, non-verbal learning disabilities, and there are various kind of other disabilities. So in these areas, you have to develop the collection. You have to provide them tools and technologies to like deaf and dumb or any learning disability, which people cannot read me like me and you, who are physically fit. You have to develop your resources and expertise in this learning disability. Like when we talk about visually impaired student, they are print disabled. But nowadays there are so many good softwares are available, accessible on libraries. Online libraries are available like Bookshare and Sugam Pustakalay, and there are a lot of screen reading softwares which convert digital to. So, like in JNU, I developed very good facilities in form of Helen Keller unit. There were 100 students in JNU who were print disabled. So similarly, libraries have to think over developing resources for people who are print disabled, who are facing various kind of learning disabilities. So now let me conclude with this presentation with my conclusions. I would like to emphasize on few things. Now it is a high time that we should rename libraries as a learning resource center. Because library is not giving the right meaning to our collection and our job. Because librarians are doing more than what libraries are simply a repository of resources. That was the mindset. And I think sometime by giving a new name, like when Prime Minister thought of disbanding planning commission to Niti Aayog, there's a new thoughts and new ideas about Niti Aayog. So sometimes like renaming something makes some better prospects. So I recommend that we should rename our libraries as learning resource centers. Libraries should develop plans and policy to enhance learning experiences in libraries. You should become more and more personally connected with the users and think of having your facilities, services which enhance the learning, self-learning, mutual learning, group learning, reading and learning. All these areas, you should develop yourself a facilitator of learning as well as a teacher librarian. Now, it is very important for you, if you really want to sustain your higher positions, you want to really sustain confidence of the user, you have to become a good teacher. Even I recommend those library science teachers, many times this teacher of our library science, they feel they are different from librarians. They're also under threat. You also need to think. So let's redesignate library information science courses to library information science and learning sciences. According to me, we should add word learning sciences, library, information and learning sciences. And accordingly, the course content should be designed. Like in many universities abroad, learning science is the subject. So we should really add new word learning sciences into our course curriculum. And this new degree should be library, information and learning sciences in place of library information sciences. And library position may also be designated similar to the other academic and research position. Like we should fight for it. Like if you are a university, librarian should be professor and associate professors and assistant professor. If it is a CSIR lab science, librarian should be a scientist. And this is not something I'm saying first time. In all CSIR lab, librarian used to be a scientist 1A, scientist B, scientist C, scientist D. I think this we have surrendered. Similarly, in other areas, and when we talk about public libraries, we should talk about director of libraries or director of deputy director of libraries. So those kind of designation should be according to the, I think this librarian word has changed because the concept of libraries has changed, the mindset has changed. So we really need to work on giving certain thoughts to it. These words, I think, I just give acknowledgement to all the resources. Most of the resources I used in these presentations are not mine. I have borrowed from internet and I have given acknowledgement to them. But however, any omission is duly regretted. And this presentation is to mainly create awareness among students, researchers, and librarians about the learning and role of libraries in learning. And these slides have been used for various presentations. And here is my email IDs. And now I will be stop sharing the presentation and will be coming back to the platform to interaction. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, with these words, thank you very much. And I express my sincere thanks for Dr. Sinthal for organizing this wonderful talk. And this opportunity to have something new. Hope I am able to do some justice to the topic. Thank you. Over to Dr. Sinthal.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Wonderful presentation, sir. Participant, if you have any query.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Please ask, sir.
Yeah, this is Ilagover from IMT Business School, Dubai.
Yes, please.
Thanks a lot for your excellent presentation. Sir, actually, most of the leading institutes in India, like IIT and IMT or Indian School of Business, IIM, like they used more than 20 years back for maximum online databases and everything, even though they provided for remote access or like off-campus access and online resources. Now, during the pandemic, only most of the universities, 10% we can say, even the school level, college level, university level, everyone they're thinking to, like online learning, digital learning, or online databases, ebook, e-journal, everything is making mandatory now because due to the pandemic of COVID-19. In case after the pandemic, the same thing it will be continued, like only for online learning or something like. Even if it continue, what will be the impact of the job opportunities for the academicians? Now we can find most of the places like salary reduction, unpaid leave, because due to the pandemic, and also still they are conducting classes through the online, but still we can find like salary reduction or unpaid leave or something like. So what will the impact, sir, if we continue for only for online learning?
Thank you, Alagumani. Hope you are doing well. So I will tell you, online teaching and learning is basically good, but online teaching is not substitute to like blended teaching or face-to-face teaching. People are not very happy with that. Also, neither teachers are happy nor students are happy, because yes, you can have some classes online, but the entire course cannot be through online, because it never, see, these technologies are available from last 10 years. If these technologies are so good in the Western world, people should have made everything online. So in that context, I will say that yes, there will be some difference. Now, people in India were not aware of these tools and technologies. Now they have been introduced. So there may be some changes, but I don't see any major changes in terms of if you see in the future that all classes will be online. That is not going to happen. It is going to be a mix of some classes online, but we will come back once the corona is over, COVID is over, or vaccine is there. Very soon we are coming back to the campus learning, and everything will be live, and hope for the best. Everything will be same as it was there. Only difference will be now mindset. Now there will be some new learning, new experiences. So people will be utilizing this new technology more than earlier. But definitely this scenario will bring more opportunities in the future. I'm very optimistic about it. I don't think the situation what we are here right now, because it is not just India, it is the situation all over the world. And there are some downside today. There are a number of jobs are going, but once the things will start to normalcy, jobs will come back, and it may be education, it may be any other industry. We are going to see the new world once, and no problem persist forever. There's going to be end to, like China has come out of this, then other countries will also come out of it, and I'm very optimistic that things will be better in the future.
Thank you, sir. Sir, what will be your recommendation, sir?
See, libraries have to prepare more on digital learning, because many libraries have been exposed during this scenario, because many of them are not having remote access, and many of them are not subscribing many e-resources. So you have to add, like journals and databases, already many libraries are subscribing, but you have to add more e-contents in form of e-books. And now there are discussion to create open textbooks. Like many governments are working on that. Like in Europe, there are a lot of this Spark and JISC. They have initiative. They are promoting that people should create more and more open e-textbooks. So there will be sea change in open access to resources. There is going to be a lot of focus on open access and digital acquisition in the libraries. In the future, people will be more happy to have more e-books and more e-journals. And librarians have to prepare in that direction now. Even like there are a lot of now resources we are not properly utilizing. We are not promoting like various kind of e-learning platforms. We are not promoting various kind of e-learning contents. So librarian has to think in a multiple ways to have an interactive website and to connect the users with these kind of digital learning resources, e-learning resources, right?
Sir, in the rural area, they do not have facility to access the online resources. Resources facilities.
Yeah.
How we can improve?
Thank you.
How we can implement?
Let somebody else, Alangamani, let somebody else has to ask the question, because we can discuss if nobody else is asking, but gives opportunity to some other participant if they have any comment, suggestion, or question.
Fine. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So anybody else having comment, suggestion, question?
So one question from my YouTube, sir.
Yes, please.
What's a new digital age challenging? What's the new digital age challenging from Bala?
For the libraries? So for the libraries, the new challenges are something which we have seen very recently, that now we have to prepare ourselves to deal with this kind of pandemic situation. Many times, like we are just waiting for something to happen, then we are working on that. But we should prepare ourselves, and the first thing is that we should work out to have more digital contents, which I have just explained. Also, we should strengthen our infrastructure. And in the entire talk, I have given you a new dimensions for library professional, that we have to redefine we have to really accept the new role. Like I have been getting messages from many librarians, like there are some working in newspapers, there are some working in that. So they are losing jobs. Why they are losing job? Because those newspapers are now getting less business. It is more on e-contents. But I think this is the time when they should develop them in more ways, like versatile. You should be a multitasker. You should be a digital technology expert. You should be you should know about like when you talk about online teaching and learning, you should develop yourself how to make use of various kind of online platform, how to supplement those online resources, how to create more open access contents, how to help in e-learning cell. in promoting more e-learning content, in creation of e-learning content. So like librarians have to now develop themselves in more into technology rather than just a person with acquiring certain journals and databases and books. See, your role is not just to acquire something or manage something. Now your role is to also play a role in other dimensions of your institute. You become a part of, like today somebody called me and say that, sir, my institute has asked you to take classes for PhD student. So this is good thing. You should prepare yourself. Sir, I have never taken a class. How to take class for PhD student? So that then you have to you have to develop yourself. So that is the new challenge. You should learn what are reference management tools, research misconduct, scientific misconduct. So I think these are the new challenges for libraries and librarians in digital age. Yes, Anil.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So one more question, sir. How can we know which sources are fake?
Yeah, very good question. And this is the new role for the libraries and librarians to understand. Like, see, there are various ways of checking the authenticity of information. First thing, as a librarians, we know that source. So we should start from that the information coming is from the peer review system, peer review journal, or some kind of reputed publication. So the first thing is the reputation of the source. Second is there are certain tools like Google Checker, Fact Checker. Google Fact Checker is a tool. By using that, you can establish the authenticity of that particular information. There are a number of such ways. Some technologies are available which help in, like, the video is fake or not. Every day you see on TV news programs, every channel do the barrel test of the news. So what they do, they use the fact checkers for videos. So they verify. So you need to learn those fact checkers tools to verify the authenticity of information, and then you need to guide. Similarly, take example, predatory journals. You should learn what are the predatory journals. Predatory journal is not, there are a number of criteria to identify predatory journals. So any article published in predatory journal is not good. So you can say this is not a genuine research article. So these are the number of ways and this is another opportunity for librarians to learn how to deal with this fake information, fake misinformation or disinformation. Yes, Andy.
Thank you, sir. Last question, sir. Which role librarian can play in blended learning?
Multiple. In blended learning, starting from learning is not just to complement or supplement their research reference reading. There are other ways of associating with the blended learning. Like take example of PhD students. Your university is having PhD student. They have been it is mandatory that UGC has recommended 2 credit PhD coursework. So you should take responsibility of teaching that research misconduct, plagiarism, reference management tools. So that's a one way of tooling. Then you organize author workshop. You organize various kind of book discussion, book talks for them. There are according to the need of the researcher. You identify the needs of the researcher, student, and teachers, and engage yourself with them. Like connecting with your user is the way where you need to you can be part of blended learning. Like when we talk about this e-learning, there are a number of courses on e-learning. You can become partner in developing a e-learning course on fake news, on fake information. So there are plenty of ways of engaging yourself and connecting yourself and to become part of this blended learning. Because this blended learning, and also you can provide a kind of platform, support technology platform. What you can do, even you can archive all those online, like currently every teacher is giving you online lectures. So let's get copies of those lectures and create a repository of online lectures. And these lectures can become part of repository where in future past new student can refer it. So that is also you are connecting yourself with that blended learning, which can be useful in face-to-face classroom teaching by the teacher or by the new teacher or by the students. Multiple ways of getting it associated. Yes, Sandeep.
Sir, last question, sir. Last question.
Yes.
Sir, is there any AICTE norms for procurement and maintaining of e-books like print books and journals?
Sandeep,
Is there
can you
any
repeat it?
AICTE
Your
norms
voice
for?
not.
Is there any AICTE norms for procurement and or maintaining of e-books like print book and journals?
AICT is having, when I was in IMT Ghaziabad, that time I remember AICT is having certain guidelines about the libraries, like number of titles or multiplied by the students. There is small guidelines. I don't know if that has been revised or not. But AICT is having a printed guidelines. I understand it. So in those guidelines, it is written that how many journals minimum as per the student you should subscribe, what should be the number of books, number of titles you should have in your library. So I think you should go to the AICT website. It must be there. I exactly don't remember, but I remember that yes, there are certain guidelines by AICT. UGC is not having guidelines, but AICT is having guidelines regarding the number of books and journals or databases required in the library.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Afra or
Yes, sir.
Yasoda, ma'am.
Now, I call upon Dr. K.R. Senthil Kumar, Librarian, Nehru Institute of Engineering and Technology, to deliver vote of thanks.
Good evening to all. First of all, I put my gratitude to our CEO and Secretary Sir for giving this opportunity to associate with the institution and to organize the wonderful national webinar on importance and need of libraries in enhancing digital learning, e-learning, virtual learning, and lifelong learning. I also thank Principal of NIET, Dr. P. Manigarasan Sir, for his full support and guidance for this event. Personally, I want to thank today's chief guest, Professor Dr. Ramesh C. Kaur, Dean and Director of Library and Information Science, Head Kalanidhi Division at Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts, New Delhi, for accepting our invitation in his busy schedule. And also, I thank Dr. Sarini Bhakyam Kamala, Head of the Department, SMH, for giving welcome address. I thank Dr. P.T. Vijay Rajkumar, Director, NIET Affairs, for giving presidential address and introduction of chief guest. I also thank Administrative Officer, IT Administration, Director, all Department HOD, faculty of NIET, students, and my library team. I special thank to NIET MBA Department, student Afra and Ms. Yasoda ma'am for overall handling the MOC section. Finally, I thank to all the participants for joining today's national webinar. Thank you, 100% here. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Senthil. Keep doing work. All the best. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thanks for joining.
Bye.
Sir, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sanjida Pandey. Thanks for joining.